Fair, accurate, to the point. This is Montana This Morning on Q2.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Montana This Morning. Today is Thursday, May 7th. I'm Victoria Hill.
And I'm Ed McIntosh. Kind of a gray day today.
Gray day?
A gray
here on
day.
Out, rest of the week, too?
Well, I'll just kind of be an Eeyore about things. Figure there's got to be some rain somewhere.
Somebody's got to be Eeyore for us.
That's for sure. It's actually kind of a pretty shot on the First Interstate iCam as we start to see the beginnings of our sunrise this morning. And we're starting off at comfortably 44 degrees. There's a little bit of the northeast wind. That northeast wind is going to be key to our weather today, drawing in the cooler air from the north, but also that easterly component pushes more of the moisture up against the mountains, and it'll start to create some showers today, especially as we take a look at our Doppler satellite mix here with 44 in Billings and Forsyth, 41 Columbus, Livingston at 40 degrees. You can see these showers starting to develop and chilly enough that we have a little rain snow mix happening. Could see a little bit of snow into the foothill areas and maybe 2 to 4 inches into the higher elevations out of this system. And a few stray showers in the lower elevations. That's edging out towards Billings, so there's still a chance we could even pick up some morning sprinkles or a shower. Across the rest of the state, drier to the north, but also very chilly. Havers 26 degrees right now, 34 Cutbank, only 28 in Great Falls to get things started, and in the low 30s around Glasgow this morning with the mid 30s. Miles City, Baker both reporting 43 as of a few minutes ago. Temperatures today warming up likely to the low 50s, generally with clouds and maybe a break of sun here or there. Talk about the rest of the forecast coming up here in a few minutes.
That would be nice if the sun made a break here or there and gave us a break here or there from the rain, huh? But we need it, so I can't complain.
We'll talk about the real rain-making weather here in a few minutes.
Uh-oh. Okay, we're in for a treat, aren't we?
We need the moisture.
Okay, all right. Can't wait to hear it, and now I'll get to top stories.
All right. Thanks, Victoria.
Our top story this Thursday morning, we're following severe weather out of the plains and Midwest where more of it could strike again today. On Wednesday, severe storms and tornadoes tore through Kansas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma, causing extensive damage. For the first time in its history, a flood emergency was declared in Oklahoma City. Forecasters say the conditions could continue through Mother's Day on Sunday. In state crime news, authorities are investigating a shooting that left 2 people dead and a third hospitalized in Midtown Missoula. Missoula Police Sergeant Travis Welsh said officers found the 2 adult victims in a home along with another person wounded. A 911 call was made by a neighbor who heard screaming and several gunshots. The victims' identities have not officially been released, but according to the ABC Fox Montana Facebook page, an employee of the TV station was involved. We'll have more details on this case as soon as they become available. Now closer to home, the trial is expected to wrap up today for the former Colstrip chief of police who is suing the city for wrongful termination after Colstrip's mayor fired him 3 years ago. Larry Reinlesoder believes he was terminated for a series of unfounded complaints concerning sexual harassment, intimidation, and other policy violations. One Colstrip dispatcher reported Reinlesoder asked her if she wanted to view pornography with him in his office. But Reinlesoder denied that exchange ever happened. He was also questioned about incorrect timesheets and allegedly told the dispatcher to falsely report her time so he would not get in trouble with City Hall. Colstrip Mayor Rose Hassner fired Reinlesoder following an investigation into these accusations. The trial is expected to wrap up sometime today. And in Butte, police suspect there's a bad batch of methamphetamine circulating that is causing severe hallucinations and odd behavior. Police reported at least 4 cases this week in which people suspected of being under the influence of meth were experiencing extremely erratic behavior and higher than normal hallucinations. This resulted in 2 arrests in which one man locked himself inside the restroom of a convenience store, and in a separate incident, a man forced his way into a home early Wednesday morning. Both men were experiencing extreme paranoia. Butte Sheriff Ed Lester said meth is always bad, but this seems much worse. Well, residents in a small central North Dakota town are back home this morning after 6 oil tankers derailed, sending plumes of black smoke into the sky. Nearly 300,000 gallons of crude oil burned following the derailment Wednesday morning. No injuries or fatalities were reported, and authorities say no water sources were contaminated. There is no word yet on the cause. The crash happened on a Burlington Northern Santa Fe track. BNSF says the tank cars in the derailment are older, unjacketed CPC 1232 models. Those are the same models that have been recently targeted for a phase-out under federal safety rules. And now looking into new laws. Governor Steve Bullock has signed one of the most controversial bills of this session into law. Senate Bill 411 will close the Montana Developmental Center in Boulder and transfer most of its 50 developmentally disabled residents to community settings. The closure follows years of documented cases of abuse, but some families of residents oppose the closure, crediting the facility with life-saving treatment. A temporary committee will work on finding new homes for the residents. We've got much more coming up here on Montana This Morning. In a few minutes, complete strangers come together on an Iowa interstate to save a man having a heart attack. He's given CPR right in the middle of the highway. It's now 44 degrees here in downtown Billings, and the time is now 5:36. But up next, Ed will have a look at today's weather forecast.
Temperatures stay into the 50s today with some clouds around, maybe a little break of sunshine, especially by the time we start getting later into the afternoon. And today is the National Day of Prayer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I guess there's folks up on the rims praying over the past few days. Huh?
That's true.
Yeah,
They've been
right there at the airport.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's by presidential proclamation today.
Oh,
Yep.
big
Very
official
cool.
holiday. There
Yeah,
you go.
absolutely.
Nothing like Pooper Scooper Week or anything like that, huh?
No,
That's
this
not
is-
a presidential proclamation,
This is
is
way
it?
bigger than that.
Okay. not to compare poop to prayer. I swear that's not where I was going. But some of the holidays we have on here are pretty funny.
They
like
are kinda
Pencil
silly.
Eraser Day and
Yes.
Give yourself your own name day. And
Which, by the way, is still one of my favorites.
yes, one of Russell's
Just saying.
favorites. Okay, so getting on to some news here
Okay,
in Ag.
we're
What do you
moving on.
have?
What are we talking about? The U.S. Grain Standards Act, and there's an important export team in Montana checking out our wheat crops.
I think I'm going to get
I
Russell
can't
some of those
see.
glasses with the line to magnify.
No, it's not that. I should probably think about washing these or cleaning them or
Cleaning 'em
something,
off.
or put my contacts in.
You'll see a whole new world when you clean your glasses. Ain't that right, Ed?
That's right.
Isn't that right?
Let's take a look at. And when you're saying that prayer today, say one for us. Okay?
Yes, please.
Oh, we're in
That's
trouble.
right.
Here we go. National scene today. We're watching areas of showers or thunderstorms again. This could be a very active area through the northern part of Texas, through Oklahoma, same area that was impacted by all those tornadoes yesterday. Looks like in the area of 40-some by the time the day was done. Still very active in all the green shaded areas with the potential of some thunderstorms extending all the way up towards Minnesota today. That's part of the system that's wrapping some of this moisture back around. Here in our region, we're continuing to watch some showers develop, especially Billings towards the west. And chilly enough that the snow for the higher elevations could accumulate a bit, 2 to 4 inches for some of the higher elevations over the course of the next 24 hours. And that's just catching right close to the Billings area. Again, most of this we're going to favor into the Beartooths, the Absarokas, the Bighorns, maybe into the Pryors a bit. But a little of this could spill into the plains, especially here early in the morning. All of this part of the larger scale system with this upper low that's dragging some of this moisture up from Utah and sending it mainly into southwest Montana for today. This system's exiting. That's the one that could create some thunderstorms around the Twin Cities. Drawing some of that moisture, the blue shades show that potential for some of that higher elevation snow. By tonight, as the system drops a little more south, it shuts off the moisture stream just a little bit for us in southern Montana. Cooler, drier air coming in from the north, so northern half of Montana stays fairly dry but cool today. And then we'll start to pull in more of this moisture as we start taking this in towards late tomorrow in particular. Showers start to develop once again. We're looking at some cooler than average temperatures, continue to drop down some of that cooler air, but it's going to push some of this into the mountains. And it's a good, generally a pretty good rain-making system. If this low was a little bit higher, we'd really get a good soak out of this, but most of that's going to stay south of us. But here we are by Saturday, and through the day, the chance of showers will persist with much cooler than average temperatures. Then we'll start to pull back out of this again. This morning, temperatures are in anywhere from the 20s in Havre, Great Falls to the 40s. Billings 44 at the airport along with Sheridan. And you see these showers moving into this area, especially through southwest Montana this morning. As we take it through time today, temperatures will be mainly into the 40s, 50s, could hit some 60s from Missoula north through the Flathead Valley for later on this afternoon, with a little more breaks of sunshine across the northern part of the state and a better chance of showers across our region today. Once you get from Roundup to the north, at least the potential for a little bit of sunshine to break through those clouds. So today in Billings, generally cloudy, maybe some filtered sunshine, temperatures into the 50s. If we get any showers, this morning's the best chance of it. And then tomorrow night into Saturday, the chance of rain starts to kick up. A cool day and a showery day on Saturday, and then warming and drying after that. It is 5:43, and Russ has a look at Farm and Ranch news.
Thank you, Ed, and good morning, everyone. Well, the U.S. Senate is considering reauthorization of that U.S. Grain Standards Act, and the National Farmers Union is one of the groups urging the Senate to pass a clean reauthorization of the legislation. In fact, NFU President Roger Johnson says that today's framework overseen by the Federal Grain Inspection Service is the world's gold standard, and U.S. export partners have faith in that standard. He says for just a penny a bushel, the U.S. has a cost-effective system that ensures consistency, reliability, and probably the most important, the accuracy. To read more on this particular story, you can just visit us online today at northernag.net. And speaking of export partners, as part of the market development activities, one important activity the U.S. Wheat Associates, along with the Montana Wheat and Barley Committee, employs is to create stronger partnerships with overseas customers, and that's to invite them to have a first-hand look at our wheat crop. And that's exactly what a team of 6 flour milling executives from Japan's leading milling companies are doing on their trip to the Pacific Northwest this week. In fact, the team is making some stops in Oregon, Washington, and right here in Big Sky country, meeting with wheat farmers, grain industry representatives, as well as university researchers. Pretty cool. Well, with that, let's go ahead and take a look back at some of your ag markets on this Thursday morning. As far as the cash cattle picture out there, still pretty quiet with yesterday's live and feeder cattle future markets a little bit mixed again. But as local market activity shines through, Lewistown livestock this week, 7 to 8 weight steers as high as 223. Keep in mind, cow-calf pairs topped out at 2,500 in Lewistown this week. This morning, the cash hog markets are steady, 50 up to 52 cents, with the wheat future markets closing mostly higher yesterday. May winter wheat at 502, May spring wheat at 513, and corn futures at 367. That's a look at your ag markets. Stay with us. We'll have more coming up next.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is now 5:49, and take a look at that beautiful sunrise peeking out for you this morning. Let's take a look at a few stories from around the world. An NFL investigation into Deflategate is now complete. The final report Wednesday concluded New England Patriots employees likely deflated the footballs used in the AFC Championship game against the Indianapolis Colts. Quarterback Tom Brady is also suspected to be at least generally aware of the incident. The league will now decide if anyone should be punished. Patriots owner Robert Kraft called the report's conclusion incomprehensible, but would accept any discipline from the league. A North Carolina police officer is continuing his testimony regarding his suit against Starbucks for $50,000 over a free cup of coffee. The cup allegedly collapsed and burned his lap. The burns and blisters allegedly triggered an onset of Crohn's disease, resulting in surgery to remove part of Core's intestine and hampered his relationship with his wife. And last, an amazing rescue caught on tape in Des Moines, Iowa. An Oklahoma man is lucky to be alive thanks to some quick thinking by his son and a very quick response by an Iowa State trooper and a nurse. Patrick Rourke was revived after suffering a heart attack while driving on a Des Moines interstate highway. The trooper pulled the man from the truck and performed CPR in the middle of the highway. Strangers stopped to help, including a nurse who said she didn't enter the industry to make money, but to make a difference, and make a difference she did. In today's business news, does your car make the cut for one of the safest cars on the road? Jill Wagner tells us in your Money Watch report.
Many Chase customers will soon be paying higher service charges for checking and savings accounts. The bank is increasing monthly savings account fees from $4 to $5 in 16 states, including New York, New Jersey, Illinois, and Colorado. Checking account service charges are going up from $10 to $12 in California, Oregon, and Washington. Fed Chair Janet Yellen says stock valuations could be too high. No surprise, that sent the stock markets lower yesterday. The Dow fell 86 points, the Nasdaq dropped 19. Whole Foods is making a move to shake up its image. It's opening a lower price chain geared towards millennials. Whole Foods says the stores will be more streamlined and modern with innovative technology. They're expected to start opening next year. And here are the 5 safest cars on the road as ranked by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. The 2016 Audi A6 gets the top Safety Pick Plus for technology that hits the brakes if it senses a crash. The GM Chevy Trax, Buick Encore, Kia Sorento, and Nissan Sentra also got high marks. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, follow me on Twitter at Jill Wagner CBS. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jill Wagner.
Well, it sounds like we're getting lots and lots of water around the region, but I hear Fort Lauderdale, Florida also has lots and lots of water, just a different kind right now.
That's right. It's all around them. There's a beautiful shot of their sunrise, Fort Lauderdale. You may think about it as soon as we give you the forecast. Details are coming up. Watching again this area all the way from Denver south towards Dallas, especially in the yellow shaded areas, the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms. And we had a lot of tornadoes in this region yesterday. We could see some more develop today, areas of very heavy rain and some hail. And some of the thunderstorms, anything shaded in green extending all the way up towards Minneapolis, could have some of that in the mix for today. And as we watch on our current radar satellite mix, we're continuing to watch some of those showers develop off towards our east. But at the same time, we're tapping into some moisture coming up from Utah, part of this upper level low that's bringing more moisture into areas from Billings to the west, with the potential for rain and snow showers. You see the lighter shades showing you where we have the potential for some morning snow for the high elevation. So we're going to put it into our TrueView high resolution forecast for today. The bighorns, the beartooths, the absarokas picking up a chance of some higher elevation accumulations and a few showers that could push into the plains as well. As we take it through this morning, things dry out a little bit as we get into the evening and overnight hours of tonight. And then tomorrow, we're going to be looking at a little drier conditions during the day and more moisture moving in by later. Temperatures today will be mainly into the 50s, and we could catch a little break of sun here and there, especially from Miles City north up into northeastern Montana through the day today. The better chance of showers stays from Billings to the west. And then cloudy to mostly cloudy overnight. Readings in the 30s tomorrow afternoon. 40s to around 50 degrees from Billings towards the west, where the chance of showers starts to pick up, and then maybe the mid 50s as we start looking into the eastern plains. The chance of rain will start to develop Friday night into Saturday around the Billings area in particular. Saturday looks like a cool, damp day, and then we'll start to pull out of it on Mother's Day, with temperatures starting to warm up as we get into the middle of next week. Could be 60s to low 70s. Mid 60s is average this time of the year. 5:57, current conditions and headlines are next.
Fair, accurate, to the point. This is Montana This Morning on Q2.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Montana This Morning. Happy to see you waking up with us. Today's Thursday, May 7th. I'm Victoria Hill.
And I'm Ed McIntosh. Cool, wet today. Getting a report. John Potter, thanks for your report of snow in Red Lodge
No
this
kidding.
morning. Yep.
Snow. Okay.
Yeah, we're not terribly surprised, but we won't expect a lot of accumulation. There will be area rain and snow showers across the region today. Watching a pretty sunrise on the first interstate ICAM with 43 right now in Billings. That little break of sun. There is a chance of a morning shower here or some sprinkles. A northeast breeze at 12 miles an hour. That northeast wind is going to be a big part of our forecast as we get into the details in a few minutes. But that's where the showers are lifting up and around the higher elevations today. The Beartooth, the Absarokas, into the Bighorns, maybe into the Pryors a bit. 43 in Billings, 44 in Forsyth, 45 in Hardin, 48 in Graybull. John, thanks for checking in with your report earlier this morning. Sheridan coming in at 43, 37 in Livingston and White Sulphur Springs and Roundup. Right now, Jordan only sitting at 34, but you'll catch a little sun this afternoon. Clearer to the north, but some colder air moving in, so we're only at 26 in Havre, 32 in Great Falls. We're just edged up from the 20s that we were reporting a half an hour ago. Readings into the 50s through the day today. Little break of sun this morning, but mainly clouds and cooler than average weather. And today is the National Day of Prayer.
Okay, something important to take part in.
That's for sure.
Okay, well, I have quite a few top stories to get to, so I'm going to hop on over to that.
Off you go, Victoria.
Okay, off I go. Our top story, the National Weather Service says at least 46 tornadoes were reported Wednesday in 3 states, and more dangerous weather could be on the way. Adriana Diaz is in Oklahoma City, where storms destroyed homes and left thousands without power.
This massive tornado was one of dozens that tore through the central part of the country Wednesday. From Kansas to Nebraska to Oklahoma, homes and buildings were leveled. South of Oklahoma City, rescue crews searched through piles of debris for anyone missing. This mobile home park took a direct hit. Police say at least 10 people were hurt, 5 of them critically.
So if you live in Seminole or 1 to 2 miles south of Seminole, from there east, you need to go to your safe spot right now. If you live in a mobile home, you've got to get out.
For the first time in Oklahoma City history, the National Weather Service declared a flash flood emergency as unprecedented rainfall turned roads into rivers. This hotel south of Oklahoma City tried to prepare. They boarded up their windows but stood little chance against the tornado that came through. People here and in other parts of the country aren't out of the woods yet.
Again on Thursday afternoon and evening, we'll be watching Kansas, Oklahoma, especially west of 35 and into the Texas Panhandle. Chance for some more tornadoes, large hail, damaging wind gusts.
Forecasters say another storm system could bring more bad weather to those states through Mother's Day weekend. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
And no deaths have been reported so far. Now in crime news, authorities are investigating a shooting that left 2 people dead and a 3rd hospitalized in Midtown Missoula. Missoula Police Sergeant Travis Welsh said officers found the 2 adult victims in a home along with another person wounded. A 911 call was made by a neighbor who heard screaming and several gunshots. The victims' identities have not officially been released, but according to the ABC Fox Montana Facebook page, an employee of the Missoula TV station died in the shooting. We'll have more details on this case as soon as they become available. In health news, Congressman Ryan Zinke is gathering up some ideas on health care after a visit to Riverstone Health here in Billings. He made a stop there on Wednesday afternoon. He took a tour of the facilities that receive some community health center funding. Zinke voted for a bill that helps Riverstone.
The Obamacare, the court may decide 5-4 that a federal subsidy is unlawful unless you have a state exchange. Montana does not, Florida does not, Texas does not. And so looking at what could be the possible road ahead, what are the solutions, I think that's part of being in Congress.
I want to show him what we do, show him our community health center, and thank him. He did vote for community health center funding, HR 2, which is a really big deal for us.
Congressman Zinke will visit Glasgow today and plans to hold a town hall meeting on small business, natural resources, and our agriculture. Taking you on special assignment this morning, America's coal industry is in financial trouble and it has the country's top coal companies on the brink. Call it the war on coal or the perfect storm. The nation's coal industry is at a crossroads. Q2's Jay Cohn explains.
In Montana and Wyoming, coal is king. The coal-rich Powder River Basin provides 43% of all the coal used in the United States. 3 of the country's 6 biggest coal mines operate here. In Wyoming, 1 in 6 workers is employed in coal development. But today's coal market is changing quickly. Too quickly, apparently, for coal giants Peabody, Arch, and Alpha.
The stock prices, Peabody, Arch, and Alpha in particular, have collapsed. Peabody, which was trading in the 50s just a few years back, is now trading at 4 and 5. Arch, which was trading in the low 40s, maybe even a little higher at its peak, is now hovering around $1 a share. They need to begin to acknowledge the fact that there are too many coal companies chasing too few customers.
Economist Tom Sanzillo has been researching the nation's coal industry for the past 8 years. He says the realities of today's global economy requires a whole new way of thinking.
Many of the companies involved still believe that bigger is better, but really what is better and what will work better is being smaller and smarter.
In southeastern Montana, Cloud Peak Energy's Spring Creek mine is Montana's biggest producer. Manager Dave Schwend says Cloud Peak's future is secure.
We have good reserves, we have good customers, and even if the price goes down a little bit more or export is not able to be developed, we will still be mining coal here and the need is still out there.
Cloud Peak has been called the black sheep of the Powder River Basin because it's the lone company still in the black.
We manage our costs, we keep everybody safe, and in the meantime, what that translates to is a lower cost per ton to produce, and that makes us able to make better decisions in the future.
Tiny efficiencies, such as saving seconds by filling the haul trucks as they get into position, and equipping the huge drag lines and shovels with hyper-precision GPS with accuracy down to centimeters to ensure precise placement and operation.
Here at Spring Creek, they load 3 to 4 coal trains every day. Each of these cars can haul up to 120 tons of coal, and they're weighed precisely down to within 50 pounds of each other.
Last year, 17.5 million tons of coal was hauled away from the Spring Creek mine en route to power plants in Michigan, Wisconsin, and through British Columbia, eventually on to Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan. Cloud Peak and its 3 mines in the Powder River Basin produces enough coal to provide 1 hour of America's daily electrical needs. On special assignment, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
And Jay also says those who are not fans of mining in the Powder River Basin consider it a root contributor to global warming. In fact, the group Wild Earth Guardian says coal mining in the basin is responsible for more greenhouse gases than any other activity in the United States. Be sure to watch the Q2 News this evening as Jay turns his attention to the proposed coal export terminals on the West Coast, and he'll take a look back at the deal the state land board signed with Arch Coal 5 years ago and see where that project stands today. And we have one last story for you before we get to break. It's a tradition that involves creative, colorful construction and helps raise money for at-risk kids. The Playhouse Parade celebrated with ribbon cuttings last night for its playhouses that went on display this week. It's a chance for builders to show their work and kids to win a playhouse. Over the last 15 years, the playhouses have raised more than $500,000. The money raised this year will help Tumbleweed, Habitat for Humanity, Family Tree Center, and the Exchange Clubs.
It's huge. A lot of these companies or organizations are funded strictly from donations and grants, and they do rely on our money every year, and it's a big part of their operating income.
And if you want a shot at one of those playhouses, the raffle will be held on Saturday, June 13th at 2 in the afternoon at the center court of the Rimrock Mall. Stick around, still ahead on Montana this morning. It's a new trend in divorce cases. Could Facebook and other social media sites be to blame? We'll hear one woman's story. It's now 43 degrees here in downtown Billings, and the time is now 6:10. But first, today's ag and weather together. Then John Arneson will join us with your Road Watch report.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning, where it's time for ag and weather together, and it's a fun event, but it's also a lot of information, important information.
Absolutely. We're talking about the Montana Stock Growers Mid-Year Meeting coming up here in just a few weeks over in Bozeman. Couple special guests, Katie Stokes and Ryan Goodman. And Katie, I guess Brian, let's start with you because we actually kick off with pretty decent line of speakers this year.
Yeah, that's right. We're excited to have some great speakers this year. We're going to have Sarah Bowenkamp. She's been involved with the National Cattle Women's and is a great leadership coach in the ranching community. So we're going to have her come out and help our young ranchers figure out what their leadership skills are and how they can utilize those in multi-generational ranches here in the state. And we're going to have Dr. Gary Brester come and talk about cattle markets and how we've seen these record cattle prices and how it compares to historical trends that we've seen.
All right, we mentioned there's information, but there's also some fun, Katie. Let's talk about that.
There is. We do try and have a bit of fun at our events. Thursday night, our Research and Education Endowment Foundation will be hosting a welcome reception. We'll have a live auction there, along with music by Crazy Mountain Express. Friday afternoon, after policy meetings finalize, we're going to go on the tour of some Bozeman area, a couple ranches, and then we're going to actually learn about fly fishing out of the Sims factory. And we'll end up at the Hart Ranch, where we'll have a great dinner, and then we also have featured entertainment Ringling 5 as well.
Wow, we've always wanted to learn how to fly fish, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Maybe Bozeman's in our future. Anyways, back to the policy, because that, it's kind of setting the stage. It's kind of where we rework some things if we need to ahead of the annual convention here in Billings, December.
That's right. It's been a busy year for the stock growers with the legislative session there in Helena. We've got a lot to talk about, but especially there at the mid-year meeting, we'll be talking about sage grouse, which many ranchers here in the eastern part of the Montana, are very familiar with. And then we'll be talking about brucellosis in the designated surveillance area, which is important to ranchers there around the Bozeman area. So we want to make sure our ranchers kind of know about things that are happening in different parts of the state. So we definitely encourage everyone to come down and join in on those important things where we set interim policy for our association, which guides our actions there in Helena as well as in Washington, D.C.
Okay, the contact information, how do we get to participate?
Absolutely. To register for more information, please visit www.mtbeef.org, or you can call the stock growers office in Helena, Montana.
There you go. Plus you can check them out online or on Facebook too, I understand. So thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks.
A lot of fun in Bozeman.
That's right, fun always in Bozeman, but sometimes the streets can be a little hazardous. Let's turn to John Arneson, see what's happening with traffic.
They can, even in Bozeman, but not that I'm aware of right now. Thanks, guys. Good morning, everyone. This Road Watch update brought to you by Conlon's Furniture. Well, Comp Construction is scheduled to begin working on a storm sewer installation project on 4th Avenue North, right between North 23rd and North 15th. Also on 15th between 4th Avenue North and 23rd, and on North 15th Street. 4th Avenue North and Montana Avenue. Work will also stretch to Minnesota Avenue at 15th Street. This project is scheduled to continue through the end of the year. Expect lane restrictions and closures in this project area. Well, remember now, major road work also continues toward Hardin on I-90 southeast of Billings and continues for some 28 miles, mile marker 456 to mile marker 484. Now, these projects also include bridge deck rehab, milling and paving, and also installation of new concrete barriers and other bridge repair work. That is a look at traffic. Stay with us. More Montana This Morning coming up.
snow around the Red Lodge area. So Mark Peterson was nice enough to send in a picture of the sunrise around Miles City, showing the contrast where we have some breaks of sunshine. And that's true around the Billings area as well, as opposed to the showers that are starting to develop from Billings off towards the west. And some of that edging in towards the Billings area as well. We could pick up maybe a morning shower, a few sprinkles or showers through southern Rosebud County, but the bulk of this staying up to the higher elevations, the Beartooths, the Absarokas. We could see some into the Bighorns today, with showers across our region mainly being funneled by this upper level low that's moving in around California and streaming some of that moisture up this way. So mainly looking at areas from Billings to the west for the best potential of showers today. Well, the storm system from yesterday affecting you in eastern Montana exits off towards the Twin Cities. Now, as we take it through the day, this low will start to dig down a bit, and that may cut off the moisture flow a bit for this afternoon. Still some cool air coming down from the north, so temperature is going to be held in check, mainly into the 50s. Could maybe see a couple of low 60s, especially in northwest Montana by later in the day, but the clouds and the chance of showers will linger. Tomorrow, especially as the day goes on, the system starts to wrap some of that moisture back around and will increase the chance of showers as we start getting later on in the day. Now, the cool air is still coming down from the north, so readings will be mainly in the 40s to around 50 degrees by tomorrow afternoon through southern Montana. Take it out to Saturday, and suddenly here we are Saturday morning, and we've got a pretty good chance of rain from Billings through southeastern Montana. Could have some pockets of some heavier rain, but for the most part, some showery weather. The cool air continues to drop in, and temperatures will be in the 40s for the afternoon highs for the most part. That starts to shift off towards southeast Montana by later in the afternoon. And again, the potential for some of the higher elevation snow or rain-snow mix that's highlighted in the pink shades into the adjacent foothills. Today, we're looking at temperatures starting off anywhere from 26 in Havre, 32 in Great Falls, 33 in Cutbank, up to 43 in Billings right now, 44 in Worland. Sheridan's coming in at 43 a couple of minutes ago. Those showers are going to be most likely from Butte, Bozeman, Livingston, over towards just west of Billings, extending down into the northern part of Wyoming, Cody towards Worland. And winds are also a little bit of a factor off into the eastern plains. Temperatures today in our area will be mainly into the 40s to 50s for the highs, cooler and wetter west of Billings with those sun breaks like the picture that Mark sent in from around Miles City today. Could be partly to mostly cloudy from Miles City up towards the north. And then overnight temperatures tonight mainly into the 30s and cloudy to mostly cloudy. In our extended forecast, we'll be looking at temperatures to hit likely the low 50s today. Clouds, maybe some filtered sunshine or a little sun break for this afternoon or even this morning. Then a chance of rain picks up Friday through Saturday. That's the cool, wet period. And then warmer and drier weather will come right in behind it.
Okay. Well, you know, I like the rain, but I can't say I'm too happy about it on Saturday morning. So.
That's right, because we have, of course, the women's run coming up. So.
Yeah, there's lots of ladies joining us too here in the studio afterwards for breakfast. So that'll be something else to look forward to. Well, let's take a look at anniversaries and birthdays and find out who's celebrating this 7th day of May. We have Bill and Lori Williams. Happy 38 years together.
And part of our Q2 family, Tammy Griggs, celebrating her birthday today. Sandy Spencer, happy birthday, and Dave Mill also celebrating today.
Okay, happy birthday to Judy Carlson. Eliza Letha Cloud is turning 21, and turning 52 is Ed Troutman.
Okay, and if you have an anniversary or birthday, send them on in to us. You can mail them in, call them in, or just go to our website at ktvq.com. Now, Ed, once again, as you were doing weather, Russell and I messing around the internet, found a funny yet unfortunate video that happened on air.
This
Let's
one's
see if we
a
can
good
pull
one.
this up on the laptop.
This one's funny.
TNT's halftime report. We have Shaquille O'Neal. I'll go ahead and start playing it here. He gets up and just completely trips, wipes out.
I love that.
On air. Poor guy. That's got to be embarrassing.
He's a big man. He's like 7'4", gets all tripped up in his wires.
It looks like
teleprompter
the
screen.
teleprompter pedal right there down with
funny.
him. So that poor man, but that's got to be embarrassing, you know?
I'm going to remain seated for the
I'm
remainder of the
not moving
program.
anywhere.
I've had my IFB cord wrap around the chair somehow once in a while, and I remember Russell had to help me once because I was trying to stand up and I couldn't because I was
Your cords are
tied down to the chair. So. But back to business here. Coming up after the break, we have a very exciting interview. It's all about the Go Red for Women luncheon happening today. And we have Allie Vincent in studio. She's actually a winning contestant from the show Biggest Loser. So yeah, we'll hear from her. The time is now 6:25. We'll be right back after this break. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. The time's now 6:28, and I'm here with Allie Vincent. And while you might recognize her from The Biggest Loser, she went down from what, like 250 pounds? Was that right or so?
Well, I started on The Biggest Loser. I was 234 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, and I won at 122, but I love to tell everybody I weighed 122 pounds for 2.2 seconds of my life. And then I took a glass of water, and I no longer weighed that.
Okay, so you're here in Billings today to actually help promote the Go Red for Women event happening, the luncheon today, and you're the keynote speaker. So kind of tell me, how did you get involved with that, and what message is it that you want our viewers to hear?
You know, Go Red for Women is a luncheon and a movement, if you will, that the American Heart Association started back in 2004. And since then, the funds raised from that, they've been able to help saved the lives of 275 women per day since then. So it's really amazing. How I got involved is my mom, and I'll share this story today at lunch, so you come and join me if you really want to know the details. But my mom had a cardiac event before being on The Biggest Loser, and I was following in my mother's footsteps. You know, we were on that same path. The doctor from Biggest Loser said that we were identical inside. So had we not made the small changes in our lives to make healthier choices, be more active, you know, and it doesn't have to be like go run a marathon. It could be like park at the furthest part of the parking lot when you go grocery shopping. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. You know, simple little steps will make a big difference, particularly in regards to our weight. But the weight is like the kind of the vanity part of it. But it's about our heart. It's about our health. It's about being able to live the lives that we want and to the fullest. And as women, we take on so much in our day-to-day lives that we don't want to give up anything, because we have maybe a little bit of control issues, I don't know. But that's stress, and all that added stress adds up. So we need to remind ourselves today at lunch, come join the women in your community, give yourself a break. It's a beautiful lunch. You'll be able to meet different people. There's different resources. And of course, hear me speak.
Yeah, okay. We can't wait to hear that. And we have some information for the folks watching at home. If we can get that pulled up, the time and location and everything there. And if you're interested in buying tickets, there's the website at the bottom of your screen, billingsgoredluncheon.org. So you can visit that website to buy tickets. Well, Allie, thank you so much. And I'm sure there's lots of people who are going to love to hear what you have to say today. And again, congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, we'll be right back after this break, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. The time's now 6:33. There's a look at the Billings rims for you this morning. Now, don't expect too much sunlight, just a little bit here and there, so soak it in when it's out. All right, let's take a look at a few stories from around the world. Authorities in Missouri have arrested a man in connection to the death of an Illinois college student who was trying to sell his car on Craigslist. 24-year-old Michael Gordon is now facing first-degree murder and assault charges. Investigators say Gordon shot and killed 19-year-old Taylor Clark after agreeing to meet up earlier this week. Police believe he tried to conceal the crime by covering Clark's body in a wooded area near his job. And drones have been given the green light to take over crop dusting duties from airplanes in California. Now, what you're seeing may look like a toy, but the high-tech tool is the first of its kind approved in the United States. The state-of-the-art farm drone has been tested over in wine country, California. Now, the device comes equipped with tanks to fly above crops, including grapes, releasing pesticides and supplements with little labor cost. It's called the R-Max, and it's not on sale yet, but with a price tag of over 100 grand, large companies will likely buy the drones and then rent them out. Even our ag man Russell says, geez, at that price tag. Okay, hundreds of cheering Australians crowded around Sydney's Opera House on Thursday to bid farewell to Britain's Prince Harry as he wrapped up a month-long embedment with the Australian Army. The prince, whose decade-long military career will end next month, took part in a military exercise on Sydney Harbour before chatting with dozens of giggling primary school students on the Opera House steps. He later signed autographs, snapped photos, and shook hands with hordes of royal enthusiasts, several of whom held up signs blaring, "Marry me, Harry," and "His Royal Hotness." And last, some people get so obsessed with social media, it can cost them their marriage. 5 or 6 years ago, Sherry from Illinois was then married, had 2 kids, and she says she got hooked on Facebook and spent up to 5 hours each day on the social media site. She began to post photos of herself and acquired 5,000 Facebook friends and 1,000 followers. Now, gradually, her husband discovered she was trading messages with ex-boyfriends, and that's when the battles began and the marriage ended. And lawyers say, Ed, that this is actually not the only divorce case like this. They say there's quite a few of them popping up, so.
You notice how the TV camera is on and she doesn't look up from the Facebook page the entire time.
She's just typing away. Just remove yourself. You know, it's hard because we have so much access to social media these days. You know, I go to a restaurant and I actually have to fight the urge to keep my phone in my purse and talk to my husband. And that's so sad. It shouldn't be that way, but I think it's only getting worse and worse because, hey, I didn't grow up with this cell phone, came in my mid-20s, and now kids are growing up with cell phones. So my prediction is just going to keep getting worse and worse, Ed.
Absolutely. And how many times are we sitting in that restaurant, we look around, we see the other phones, and then we have to take a picture of our meal.
Exactly.
And share that.
Photo of the meal. Yeah, next time you're in a restaurant, folks, just put down your phone, take a look around, and you actually see a lot of people doing the same thing. Instead of talking to the people with them, they're just glued to their phones. So take a step back, put down the phone, breathe in, breathe out. You'll be okay without it.
That's right. My wife Sandy always brings that up. Looks around, sees it. I don't always notice because sometimes I'm taking a picture of my food. Here's what's going on right now. We've got some snow here in the Red Lodge area, so thanks, John, for sending in that picture. We'll see a little bit more of that. Accumulation's overall light, but still, it's chilly enough to produce a little bit of snow there. Nationally, we're watching for the potential of strong to severe thunderstorms in this area from Texas, Oklahoma, extending up to around the Denver area. We saw a whole rash of tornadoes there, almost 50 in total. We'll see more on that today as more of these storms will start to develop. For us, well, our storm system from the last couple of days slides off towards the east. We're picking up some moisture from the upper low that we've been talking about the last couple of days, and that's pushing the moisture up. That's creating the snow showers in the lighter shades and then some rain showers to the south. Most of this staying from Billings to the west, southwest Montana, really the target zone for that today. Temperature starting off as chilly as 26 in Havre, 33 in Glasgow and Cutbank. So there is colder air coming down from the north and then the moisture streaming in from the south. So as we take it through the day on our True View forecast, we're really going to concentrate on this area for the higher elevations of southwest Montana. Through the day, as that low drops a bit more to the south, that chance of showers actually decreases by the time we start getting into this afternoon and this evening. Tomorrow, that low spins into the Rocky Mountain west and draws more of that moisture back up our way. So we could see some fast-moving showers, but really the bulk of this as we go from Friday night into Saturday brings the better potential of rain. Now here we are by 6 a.m. Saturday, chance of some higher elevation snow showers, rain across the lower elevations as that continues to wind in. Showers lingering from Billings towards the east during the day on Saturday and a bit to the west as well. Northern Montana certainly left out of the mix a lot more. As warm as the low 60s in around Kalispell, Missoula today, but mainly the 50s across the eastern plains, with the bulk of the showers concentrating in these areas from Columbus, Harleton, mainly around Livingston, Big Timber, off towards Bozeman, Butte, and some breaks of sunshine possible, certainly as we look into the eastern plains, and then cloudy to mostly cloudy overnight. In our extended forecast, the chance of rain best for Billings, especially by later tomorrow and then through the day on Saturday, and then we'll start to warm up beyond that. 6:39, much more coming after this on Montana This Morning.
The time is 6:41. In sports, we could hear from New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady later today. Yesterday, an independent investigator found that it's more probable than not Brady's team deliberately violated NFL rules in the so-called Deflategate scandal. Don Champion has reaction.
Tom Brady hasn't reacted publicly yet to the damning Deflategate report, but in today's edition of USA Today, the quarterback's father defended his son. This was Framegate. Right from the beginning, he told the paper, "I don't have any doubt about my son's integrity, not one bit."
End zone, touchdown!
The 243-page report into the Patriots' AFC title game against the Colts in January fell short of calling Brady a cheater, but it did conclude it is more probable than not that Tom Brady was at least generally aware of the inappropriate activities involving the release of air from Patriots game balls. Colts fans are not forgiving.
And if Tom Brady is linked, he should be suspended or possibly released.
The fact that they actually did this is completely ridiculous.
The report also names two Patriots team officials, locker room attendant Jim McNally, who was accused of deflating the balls, and equipment assistant John Jastrzemski. Brady refused to turn over any electronic communications for the investigation. Patriots fans are mixed.
Still love the Patriots and always be a Patriots fan, and just a little bump in the road, I guess.
If we thought somebody else was doing something that was illegal, I think as the Patriot fans, we would want the Patriots to say something about it.
The league has not announced a punishment. Don Champion, CBS News, New York.
You're letting the air out of our warmer temperatures for a couple of days. We'll have readings today mainly into the 50s across the region. Areas of rain and snow already starting to develop in areas, especially to the west of Billings, with some breaks of sunshine possible today, especially in areas to the north and east up through the northern portion of the state. Catch some sun, but it really isn't going to warm up very much. It's got some very chilly temperatures to start the day. Overnight readings tonight heading into tomorrow will be into the 30s. Generally cloudy to mostly cloudy overnight. Then tomorrow, after we get a little lull in the showers tonight through tomorrow, they'll start to increase during the day. On Friday, temperatures in the 40s, especially west of Billings, and then from Billings toward the east could still hit some low 50s for the daytime high. So in Billings today, maybe some sprinkles, even this morning, thanks to that system that's pushing just to our west. Otherwise, temperatures into the 50s. 40s to about 50 degrees tomorrow. It may not quite make 50 tomorrow afternoon as the clouds increase and bring in a chance of evening showers. Then a chance of rain Friday into Saturday. From that point on, we start to warm up. Readings could be in the 60s to low 70s by the middle of the week.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is now 6:47, and there's a cloudy look over Billings right now. Don't expect too much sun to show itself today. Our top story this Thursday morning, we're following severe weather out of the plains and Midwest, where more of it could strike again today. On Wednesday, severe storms and tornadoes tore through Kansas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma, causing extensive damage. For the first time in its history, a flood emergency was declared in Oklahoma City. Forecasters say the conditions could continue through Mother's Day on Sunday. And in state crime news, authorities are investigating a shooting that left 2 people dead and a 3rd person hospitalized in Midtown Missoula. Missoula Police Sergeant Travis Welsh said officers found the 2 adult victims in a home along with another person wounded. A 911 call was made by a neighbor who heard screaming and several gunshots. The victims' identities have not officially been released, but according to the ABC Fox Montana Facebook page, an employee of the Missoula TV station died in the shooting. We'll have more details on this case as soon as they become available. Now closer to home, the trial is expected to wrap up today for the former Colstrip chief of police who is suing the city for wrongful termination after Colstrip's mayor fired him 3 years ago. Larry Reinzeloder believes he was terminated for a series of unfounded complaints concerning sexual harassment, intimidation, and other policy violations. One Colstrip dispatcher reported Reinzeloder asked her if she wanted to go view pornography with him in his office, but Reinzeloder denied that exchange ever happened. He was also questioned about incorrect timesheets and allegedly told the dispatcher to falsely report her time so he would not get in trouble with City Hall. Colstrip Mayor Rose Hanser fired Reinzeloder following an investigation into these accusations. The trial is expected to wrap up sometime today. In Butte, police suspect there's a bad batch of methamphetamine circulating that's causing severe hallucinations and odd behavior. Police reported at least 4 cases this week in which people suspected of being under the influence of meth were experiencing extreme erratic behavior and higher than normal hallucinations. This resulted in 2 arrests in which one man locked himself inside the restroom of a convenience store. And in a separate incident, a man forced his way into a home early Wednesday morning. Both men were experiencing extreme paranoia. Butte Sheriff Ed Lester said meth is always bad, but this seems much worse. Residents in a small central North Dakota town are back home this morning after 6 oil tankers derailed, sending plumes of black smoke into the sky. Nearly 300,000 gallons of crude oil burned following the derailment Wednesday morning. No injuries or fatalities were reported, and authorities say no water sources were contaminated. There is no word yet on the cause of the crash. The crash happened on a Burlington Northern Santa Fe track. BNSF says the tank cars in the derailment are older, unjacketed CPC 1232 models. Those are the same models that have recently been targeted for a phase-out under federal safety rules. Now looking into new laws. Governor Steve Bullock has signed one of the most controversial bills of this session into law. Senate Bill 411 will close the Montana Developmental Center in Boulder and transfer most of its 50 developmentally disabled residents to community settings. The closure follows years of documented cases of abuse, but some families of residents oppose the closure, crediting the facility with life-saving treatment. A temporary committee will work on finding new homes for the residents. In health news, Congressman Ryan Zinke is gathering up some ideas on health care after a visit to Riverstone Health here in Billings. He made a stop there on Wednesday afternoon. He took a tour of the facilities that received some community health center funding. Zinke voted for a bill that helps Riverstone.
The Obamacare, the court may decide 5-4 that a federal subsidy is unlawful unless you have a state exchange. Montana does not Florida does not, Texas does not. And so looking at what could be the possible road ahead, what are the solutions, I think that's part of being in Congress.
I want to show him what we do, show him our community health center, and thank him. He did vote for community health center funding, HR 2, which is a really big deal for us.
Congressman Zinke will visit Glasgow today and plans to hold a town hall meeting on small business, natural resources, and agriculture. Now, taking a look at what's going on in our community, it's time to admire some art and vote. For this year's War of the Walls contest, 5 high school seniors put their skills to the test and painted the side of local Master Loop oil shops. Voting is now open and will close next Wednesday. The competition coincides with the annual Grad Day fundraiser for the schools, which is an all-night drug and alcohol-free graduation celebration. The schools will adopt a Master Loop site on May 16th. Every dime spent at Master Loop that day will go to that school's Rad Grad celebration. Well, Senior High was treated to a special musical set when the Marine Corps Band New Orleans took the auditorium stage. The band performed in Billings during its 12-day tour. For one band member, it was his first time returning to that same stage after 20 years. Gunner Sergeant Daniel Sullivan played with the band. This is one of 10 Marine Corps bands, and each member receives the same combat training as any other Marine. Sullivan graduated from senior high school back in 1995 and sat in the same spot that he did in high school.
This is where I really decided that I wanted to become a musician, and so it's really special. Oh, it's great. They're highly professional. They're very dedicated, so it's a lot of fun to perform with them.
The Marine Corps Band New Orleans has 2 more stops on this tour, including Rapid City, South Dakota, and Cheyenne, Wyoming. Well, we have one last story for you before we get on over to Ed. The Pope, Harlem Globetrotters, and basketball. That was the site yesterday as Pope Francis pulled off some basketball tricks in St. Peter's Square. The Globetrotters presented a framed number 90 jersey backed with Pope Francis and encouraged him to play with them. The Pope even pulled off a trick and tried to at least spin a ball on his finger. He got it for a little while, but didn't last too long. Nope, I think John Arneson did a way better job when we had a chance to meet a Harlem Globetrotter, but I wouldn't be able to do that either. It's pretty tricky. Look at that.
Well, he gave it a good try.
He did.
He's
he
pretty
did.
cool.
All right, Ed. So what kind of weather can we expect coming up today? Doesn't look too bright out there right now.
No, and as a matter of fact, we're going to hang on to some of the clouds throughout the day. South of us, through the southern plains in particular, we're going to be watching for the potential of severe weather, especially in the yellow shaded areas. A repeat performance from those deadly storms from yesterday as we watch those showers, thunderstorms start to move up towards the upper plains. For us, we're watching the best chance of showers to continue to develop from these areas from the Bighorns back in towards the Beartooths, with a few stray showers managing to make it into the plains. But for the most part, we're going to be watching more into tomorrow for the better chance of getting something that will push into the plains. So there's an upper low. You can see that down into California. It's drawing some of that moisture up into the southwest portion of the state, while the cold comes down from the north. As this storm system exits off towards the east, we'll hang on to a few clouds. Northern part of the state, even some breaks of sunshine, but staying cool with that cold upward flow from the north. Showers, especially for the higher elevations today, start to taper off as the low digs even further south through the evening and overnight hours, and then draw some of that moisture back in as we start looking in towards tomorrow. So Friday night into Saturday, we're looking at the best potential of rain to start to move in from Billings towards the east, and we'll look for at least some showers to persist as we start looking towards the west, especially for the higher elevations, the Bighorns, the Beartooths, once again back into the Gallatins. Now, as we take it into the day through Saturday, the showers will start to slowly shift towards the east, and then we'll get some drier and warmer weather behind it. We're at 30 now in Havre, up from the 20s that we were watching earlier in the morning, and Great Falls has also warmed up a little at 32. So we've got the cooler air, but some more sunshine across the northern part of the state, concentrating those showers through southwest Montana throughout the day today. We have readings basically 30s, 40s to get started. We'll end up mainly into the 50s. and could hit some low 60s in northwest Montana by later in the day. Expecting some cloud cover, maybe some filtered sunshine through the afternoon. Highs will be mainly into the upper 40s to 50s today with a better chance of showers from Billings to the west. In our extended forecast, we'll likely reach for the mid to lower 50s today. Tomorrow, we may not make 50 degrees, 40s for the highs, and then showers start to move in Friday into Saturday. The warmer and drier weather starts to kick in by late on Mother's Day. 6:57, John has traffic.
Well, thanks, Ed. Good morning, everyone. This Road Watch update brought to you by Kitchens Plus on South 29th Street West. Well, COP Construction is scheduled to begin working on a storm sewer insulation project. That should begin today around 8 a.m. on 4th Avenue North between North 23rd and North 15th, and on 15th Street between 4th Avenue North and Montana Avenue. Work will also stretch to Minnesota at 15th Street. Now, this project is scheduled to continue through the end of the year. Expect lane restrictions and closures throughout this area. Hey, remember, major road work continues towards Hardin as well out on I-90 southeast of Billings and continues for some 28 miles, mile marker 456 to 484. These projects include bridge deck rehab, milling and paving, and also installation of a new concrete barrier. Motorists should expect single-lane traffic, congestion, and crossover detours. And quickly now underway and scheduled to continue through May, Elysian Road is closed from the intersection of Golden Hollow Road to Maloney Lane. Detours in place directing traffic around this closure. Watch for workers, equipment throughout this busy area. That is a look at traffic. No accidents being reported. Let's see what's coming up on CBS this morning.
Coming up, destruction from tornadoes and flooding as severe storms sweep through the plains. We report from Oklahoma. Plus, the climber who shot this dramatic video describes his experience surviving the Mount Everest avalanche. More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
Okay, so we've got quite a few things going today. Now I'm wearing red because it's Go Red for Women Day over at the luncheon there happening at the Northern Hotel. If you want tickets, it's not too late. BillingsGoRedLuncheon.org. Great program. Allie Vincent is the keynote speaker there today, and she's actually the first female Biggest Loser contestant to win. So she has some inspirational stuff to say and good advice.
Yeah, I'm sure she does. That's great.
And another way to take off those pounds, I guess, is be a letter carrier, walk in the rain, because this Saturday we got our food drive. Goes on every year, and they have a huge amount that they get donated in food and donations every year. So if you want to participate, just make sure you put it out by the mailbox by around 9 o'clock in the morning so the mail carriers and their helpers could come by and pick it all up.
Okay.
And temperatures today will stay on the cool side with the cloud cover. Chance of maybe some sprinkles this morning, and there's a little bit of sunshine trying to break through. And today, a reminder as well, it is the National Day of Prayer.
Okay. All right. And we had some advice. You know, we had a story earlier about a divorce that was caused by Facebook, and somebody emailed us in saying, play this game when you're at dinner. Don't pick up your phone, put it in the middle of the table. First person to pick up their phone and get on social media has to pay the check. So that's some good advice.
That is a good idea.
Stay off your phones, folks. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
Good morning. It is Thursday, May 7th, 2015. Welcome to CBS This Morning. Tornadoes and flash flooding tear through the southern plains. More could be on the way today.
Quarterback Tom Brady's father calls Deflategate Framegate. But this morning, the NFL is considering punishment for the Super Bowl MVP.
A mother-daughter reunion leads to accusations that a St. Louis hospital stole babies from young women.
But we begin this morning with a look at today's eye-opener.
Can you go ahead and record this?